Lads, think we're good to go. I'm thinking that's live. Looks all good on my end. Oh, lads, where we start? Where we start? We got a fight last night. We got to see Canelo versus Calum Smith. Just want to make sure that this is all good on my end. Make sure all you guys can hear me okay. Give me 2 secs. Give me 2 secs, because my end is looking a bit choppy. It's like the flipping thumbnail's not showing up, but it looks fine on my end. It looks all good now. Yeah, big up to all the lads. We get a few in the chat. And let's have a chat about this. We have a chat about it. Let's have a chat. Oh man, I see one comment there that I can't wait to read. Give me 2 secs. Give me a sec. All right, we're getting the lads in the chat. But I want to, before I get into anything, right? Dan, Ebony Bridges just responded to me after I asked if she sold her socks to Adam Smith. Well, I think we all want to know, did she confirm it? Because I think we all know. The answer to that. Did she confirm it, Dan? Big up every single time. Big up every single. I think we all know who's buying Ebony Bridges' socks. I think we all know. And I think it might very well be Adam Smith. Just in my opinion. Big up to Rich every time. Looking forward to this. Yes. Big up. I hope to God that thumbnail's not showing up on my end. I hope the fuck it is. Same here. Big up to CG. Canelo or Yard, who will be best at one? Or Canelo, or I just read Yard to bottom. Canelo or Smith, who will be best at 175? Oh God damn it, Canelo. Yeah, Canelo. Well, he's already better at 175 than Smith. And he said, you think Yard could beat Smith? I don't know about that. I do think, though, yeah, look, Yard versus Smith. I mean, like, from a styles point of view, I can kind of see where you're coming from with that, to be fair. Lads, I don't know why this fucking thing is doing this, but want to just pop the thumbnail down real quick, because for some reason the thumbnails keeps going away. So just give me a sec. But yeah, I'll talk about that when I say, look, I can see Yard having some success in there against Smith, because, right, Yard, we've seen him in there against a tall opponent, Lyndon Arthur, and he struggled. That is fair to say. He struggled against Lyndon Arthur. But lest we forget, although he struggled against Arthur's was just moving, jabbing. He was being negative. All right, that's fair to say. He was being negative in there against Anthony Art. Someone like Calum Smith, he ain't going to be negative. Calum Smith doesn't really use his height at all, to be fair. So someone like Calum Smith, I think he'd play into Anthony Yard's strengths a bit more. He's very slow-footed. He's very upright. Anthony Yard wouldn't really need to go looking for him. And I said this in my post-fight review. All right, that Calum Smith, to me, just doesn't seem all that physical. For whatever reason, his physical strength just doesn't seem to be there. I don't know why. I don't know what it is. It could be something to do with the weight. I'm not 100% sure. But in terms of him being physically strong, it just doesn't seem to be there. He just, for whatever reason, the physical strength isn't there with Calum Smith. So I think that could help Anthony Yard out. I think that could actually help. That could play into Anthony Yard's strengths. Why the fuck is that not showing up on the screen? That's annoying. That thumbnail won't show up on the... I hope to God everyone knows that this stream is live. Because when I look at it on the other end, it's like there's no thumbnail showing. It's just like a big kind of squiggle. And I actually had one set up, because you never know. Those thumbnails are actually good, although they're showing up there. Okay, that's fine. That's fair enough. But yeah, I reckon that Anthony Yard win that fight. Maybe, possibly. Just depends how bad Smith's regressed. Smith took a beating in there, lads. He really did. He really did take a beating in there. So I see, I can see Calum Smith having some problems in the future, lads. I'll tell you that now. I can see, I got the hat on. Fuck you, it's cold. Yeah, I can see Calum Smith having some issues in the future. That's the kind of fight that'll take years out of him. But I wonder how much hunger does he actually have left, Calum Smith. Let's have a read. Let's keep going with this. Predicted Canelo UD, but damn, I didn't expect it to be so one-sided. Do you know what, right? I thought Canelo would stop him. But if it had been to points, I thought Calum Smith would pick up the odd round in there, but I didn't think it'd be that one sided. I thought if Calum Smith really wanted to try and be negative, kind of Chavez Jr. style, he could maybe be a bit meh, maybe a bit awkward. But damn, Canelo just he wasn't playing no games in there. JP, yo G man, big up, big up. Yeah, we got MVG in the house. Big up Michael Van Gerwen. What's next for Smith? Definitely light heavyweight. He kind of alluded to that in his post-fight interview that he's going to be moving up in weight, that he can't really make the weight anymore. I mean, he's been huge at that weight for years, but that lack of physical strength, that's going to be even more apparent when he moves up to 175 pounds. And think about it like this, right? If he's getting ragdolled at 168 pounds against guys who are coming up in the weight, it's not going to get much better when he eventually steps up to 175 and you've got guys in there like big light heavyweights like Arthur Beterbiev, Gilberto Ramirez, Joe Smith. Could you imagine? Oh boy, could you imagine a Joe Smith Jr. in there against Calum Smith? Just how physical Joe Smith Jr. is, how strong he is, how hard he hits. I don't see that going very like Joe Smith. Big up to Joe Smith, man. He is improved night and day. I think his biggest problem was right. He was better than Funfara, but he still needed more developments. And obviously, when he beat Bernard Hopkins was coming to the end of his career. So I think that kind of hindered his development, if you know what I mean, because just purely because I think that he wasn't fully ready to be going and moved up, or being moved along the way he was, basically. Because I think that when he took on the Sullivan Pereira fight, he still needed a few more, kind of in-between fights to get ready for that. Because he lost that Sullivan Pereira fight. He got outpointed. So I definitely see, I'm big up on Joe Smith. I really think he's very good. Joe Stunner in the building, big up. Hashtag G-Man's Rocks, big up every time. I love that. Get that trending. I got the hashtag, I don't have it with me, but I have the hashtag G-Man's Rocks mugs as well. And if anyone wants one, I don't care. I'm not going to charge. If anyone wants a G-Man's Rocks mug, I'll send you one out free of charge. Just DM me. I'll send you one out. Big up. You're subscribed here, so fuck it. I don't care. I'll send you one out. Hope you're doing well. I am doing brilliant. Canelo Smith was the weekend's main event. But let's talk about the Richards. I didn't see that, but I heard about it. I thought Craig Richards would win that on points. Craig Richards was coming off a draw last year. An 8-round draw. And I kind of thought Craig Richards is better than people give him credit for. I know he lost to Frank Buglioni, but he took that fight on really short notice. I remember Sky had him down as the underdog against Jake Paul. I remember that fight was rescheduled twice. Or was definitely rescheduled once anyway. But I remember when he fought Jake Paul, I couldn't believe how many people in Sky were backing Jake Paul to win that, because I'd seen Jake Paul get absolutely battered. I'd seen him get knocked down. I've seen him look shaky. And Craig Richards not a devastating puncher. He's got good power though. Don't get me wrong. But he went in there and he looked like bleeding. Oh, he went in there. He looked like Adonis Stevenson in there against Jake Paul. So Craig Richards is a good domestic level operator. Him against Boatsy be a good fight. Be a very good fight. It's a conspiracy to not have Canelo a pound for pound number one. I don't know how you couldn't. I really don't. Unless you are, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but unless you're a massive fanboy of, say, like Teofimo or, Spence or someone like that, you got to be objective and have Canelo at number one. You can't. I just can't see anyone else. Big up to Darren. Big up again to JP. Yo, G-Man. Big up to Eddie. What's up, G-Man? She all good. Oh, she put an emoji. Oh, Dan. I think that's a dead giveaway. For those who don't know, big up to Big Dan. Ebony Bridges just responded to me after I asked her, was it Adam Smith who sold her socks? She replied with an emoji. Lads, that is, as far as I'm concerned, that emoji there, that's proof. You don't need any more proof than that. So Adam Smith, although we all knew what he was like, but now I think Ebony Bridges is just, let it out the basket. I think she's just let it out the basket. Ebony Bridges. Oh, do you know what, right? I don't. Some people. I remember, right, when I was with the lads there a few weeks ago, and they asked me about the channel and all that, and I was like, lads, right, women's boxing, they don't cover it, right? So I got out Instagram. I was like, this is Ebony Bridges. What do y'all think? And they were like, holy shit, man. Oh, fuck, man. I'm like, what am I missing? I don't see anything. I don't get it. She's got a big pair. That's it. Big up Troll Network every single time. Big up the Troll Network. Yeah, Troll Network doing his thing. Troll Network doing his. Troll Network was doing his thing this morning. I tell you that, or yesterday. Big up Troll Network. Big up Cash Johnny. What's up, G Man? Big up every single time. Big up to Devon Sinclair buying Edward Bernays' book on my recommendation. I recommend you read it, man. It's a good read. It's a short read, but it's a good read. It's a short read. A big up to Raj, G-Man's Rocks. Yes, yes. Big up to Devon every time, Troll Network. Big up to Devon. Big up to Graham Taylor. What's up, dudes? Big up the chat. Yes, big up to everyone in the chat. 42 in the chat. Smash the like button if you haven't already. Big up again to CG. Smith thinks Canelo purposely aimed for the arm to prevent the catch and left hook race strategy brutally executed. Did you see the size of the swelling on Smith's arm? I mean, definitely there was an injury there, but those shots, man. I don't know why. I set an alarm for 4 o'clock because I was really I was tired yesterday. So fuck it, I'll go to bed and then I'll watch it in the morning. Set an alarm for 4 o'clock. And you know when you wake up, like I woke up kind of really, and I was like, it's late, and the alarm never went off. And I was like, it's later than 4. Grabbed the phone, I was like, yep. Oh, it was way later. I caught the last 3 rounds. And for my money, I was like, well, when I seen what Canelo was doing, I was like, oh, right, it's on the wall. Literally, like I started the 10th round and I saw what Canelo was doing. I was like, oh, yeah, writing's on the wall. Writing's on the, yeah, writing's on the wall. That's what I was like. I was like, writing's on the wall. Big up Troll Network every time. Big up to Ben. Bo Paul Smith and Joe Gallagher hinted Calum might retire. Really? Wow. You know, Calum Smith is extremely, extremely rich. For a guy who is best win as an injured George Groves, he's hit the jackpot. He really has in his career. Winning that World Boxing Super, that World Boxing Super Series, they pay. Why wouldn't fighters want to be in that? Unless you are a Canelo or you're like a Tyson Fury or AJ or Wilder, why wouldn't you want to get in that? Because the money that those guys are getting paid. And Calum Smith, I talked about it in the last live stream. He fought, I forget the kickboxer he fought on a few days' notice. That was harder than it needed to be. But then he fought Scotland. They weren't the best of the best. So he had quite a straightforward run to the final and he fought an injured George Groves. He made absolute rake of money from that. And then he fights Hassan N'Dam, a chinny middleweight in Hassan N'Dam. And he fights John Ryder. He lost that fight. And then he fights Canelo. I mean, he's made you hear talk about people who've been fighting, hard fight after hard fight. They've not made that much money and they're trying to get that big payday. He's been having handy fights. I know you've got to still win them, I know. But in comparison to some other people, I can see why he'd want to retire, because I'm sure he's looking at light heavyweight thinking they are sharks that weight. They are sharks. And that literally, what Devin says there, Calum Smith versus Joe Smith would be, I'd take Joe Smith in that fight, man. I would heavily favor Joe Smith in that fight. Really, seriously, I would heavily favor Joe Smith against Calum Smith. Strongly favor him to beat Calum Smith if they ever fought. I think that stylistically, Joe Smith will ragdoll Calum Smith all around the ring. Joe Smith is very physical. He hits extremely. Joe Smith's punching power is real. Ask anyone, ask Jesse Hart, and I think he'd ragdoll. Calum Smith up and down the ring. Bivol and Beterbiev are quite one pace. Canelo's too skilled for them. I think Bivol's speed might be an issue for Canelo, though. I'd still be going for Canelo over Bivol, but I think the speed of Bivol would cause Canelo a few issues. Beterbiev, he's getting up there in years. I reckon. Do you know what? Right, I reckon I wouldn't be at all shocked if we saw Canelo pull the gun and pick Beterbiev as an opponent if he fought. When is he fighting? He's meant to be fighting in January, is he? If he has a fight in January or in the immediate future and he looks really shaky, then and you get the impression age has caught up to him, we might see someone jump the gun and go for Beterbiev. Canelo's jab was class. His jab, his combination punch, and his body work. Canelo was on point. He was sharp. It's incredible to think, right, that when he's out of the ring, because when he was out of the ring for a year against Golovkin, I couldn't get over how sharp he looked being out of the ring for a year. It's like the inactivity makes no difference to Canelo. He just looks razor sharp. And the reason I have, you've seen the title I have in this video, obviously, or the stream, obviously. A certain Harley Quinn made a bit of a, he didn't make a statement, but he was asking the question as to why Canelo can move through the weights. I don't know if he was alluding to anything, but this is the Harley Quinn who picked Calum Smith. This is the Harley Quinn who said that Calum Smith was the outside. Let that sink in. Mr. J. I don't give Smith a chance. No. You're right. Too many killers at that weight. Exactly. Yes, Dan. Yes. Estrada versus Gonzalez too. I'm going for Estrada in that fight. Definitely, Dan. 100% Juan Francisco Estrada. I think Gonzalez, man, that's gonna be a sweet fight. I'm going for Estrada. Estrada is like, I can't not enjoy his fights. Like that fight against Quadras he had back in October. Man, that was serious. Like their first fight was really good as well, Estrada and Quadras. And I thought Quadras had seen better days, but he gave a good account of himself in there against Quadras, or in there against Estrada. Estrada is one of my favorite fighters, Dan, in the world right now. The only fights we have now between now and the end of the year are Ioka and Tanaka. That's the only fight there between now and the end of the year. Looking forward to that fight, actually. Can't wait for that fight. That should be good. It's going down on New Year's Eve, I think. You don't want Billy Joe next. You want to see Billy Joe versus Andrade and the winner get the Canelo. In an ideal world, yes. But I will stop and say, bear in mind, lads, that fight, Demetrius Andrade versus Billy Joe, that will be boring. That will not be a fun fight to watch. It'll be a purist fight. When you tend to get two slick southpaws who don't want to engage, and I know Demetrius Andrade tends to switch hit a lot, it doesn't normally tend for compelling viewing. It's very much a bit of a chess match. So I don't necessarily know if that fight would be on everyone's radar, if you know what I mean. I don't know. It might very well be. It might very well be a very good fight, and I could be proven wrong. But I don't know if that's going to be on everyone's radar. In terms of Canelo, Billy Joe on form should give Canelo problems, but Demetrius Andrade, I like Demetrius. I've always been high on him, but lately it's just been like, oh, fight someone. You've got skill there. Show people. Stop fighting these guys. Like, who was that guy who's meant to fight? Hernandez, the welterweight who couldn't make super middleweight. I mean, serious. The welterweight who couldn't make super middleweight, and then he had the flu. Regardless, possibly juicing. Everyone is on it, to be honest. People just pick and choose. Yeah, true that. And you'll know Harley Quinn is very when if Luis Ortiz or someone like that in the States popped, Harley Quinn be jumping all over them saying, but like if Dylan White or someone like that, zilch, objectivity. Like I don't mind if someone pops dirty, right, and they're calling them all this, that, and the other. I don't really mind it, but if someone else in a different country pops, well, I take an issue if you're not giving them the same treatment because you're just being biased. They're fighters I look like. Someone in one of my last streams went and said, I was hating on AJ and this, that, and the other. I was like, what? When have I ever hated on AJ? I'm always very complimentary to him in most of my videos. I only criticize him when I feel criticism is due. And I felt there was a bit of criticism due there. So I criticized them. And I think I was fair due. There's always a fine line between someone who's actually like me hating on AJ will be saying he's crap. I'll go back and look at a lot of videos I've done on AJ. From the minute he lost to Ruiz, I was saying he's going to beat Ruiz in the rematch. Never had a moment's hesitation to pick AJ in the rematch. Never had a moment's hesitation. I knew a lot of people who were like, he's finished, he's done it. Ruiz was like, no, he's going to beat Ruiz. He's going to beat Ruiz, no problem. That was one of, if not the best performance I've ever seen from Canelo. It was right up there. It was nice seeing the fans, but it was right up there with Canelo. He licked that right there, right? I forget who it was. It might have been I think it was Ben who asked the question, do you like Joe Gallagher and Paul Smith were hitting that retirement? That fight was punishing. So you got to think of it like this, right? If Calum Smith does carry on, a fight like that, that's going to take it out of you. It will. I thought it would be a harder fight and Smith would get stopped. So did I. I thought Smith would get stopped, but I thought he'd have moments in there. But Canelo, man, I mean, that scorecard of 170, 111, I couldn't find 3 rounds to give to him. Seriously, like, I think 1 round in the mid rounds, and to be generous, 120, 108 was definitely closer scorecard to what I had. Although there was no 120, 108, but Canelo just beat the living crap out of Calum Smith. I felt bad for him. Like, his nose and all, I was feeling bad for him in there. You know, as amazing as Canelo was, I think Billy Joe caused some technical problems, stylistic problems. I'm not saying he beats Canelo, but he does cause some problems. Oh, of course, I've no doubt. Like, Billy Joe on point, on fire. But you see, here's the thing, and I noticed this immediately when I was watching him fight Martin Murray. At 168, he's slower footed. When he was moving around in there against Martin Murray, visually, if you're looking at his feet, you can visually see that his feet aren't as quick. I've seen Billy Joe at 160 move like that. And at 168, I noticed it straight away. I was like, his feet are slower. If you have slow feet against Canelo, that's not going to be good. So that might be an issue for Billy Joe. Who's the harder fight for Canelo? Benavidez. Benavidez, what does he really bring? I reckon Benavidez will be a tricky fight for Canelo. He's physical. He's relentless. He obviously has a bit of power there, but he's overweight. Doesn't live the life. He likes a certain substance, you know. We have snow in the winter. I'll leave it at that. And you know, I think that Canelo would still beat him. I think we're probably going to get Triple G next, to be fair, lads, to be honest with you. Well, no, like, he does a genuine. Well, the WBC make the rules, they go along, but they probably would make him fight Yildirim. Seriously. They'll probably make him fight Yildirim next. I'm sure Canelo will just take that and just beat up Yildirim, get a knockout, and then move on. Onwards and upwards, as they say. I reckon they would do that. It baffles me how a 6-foot guy with a 78-inch reach can't box at long range. I mean, exactly. To be out jabbed by a little ginger Mexican when you have those attributes is shocking. It's not a great look, Devin. It really isn't. Lads, give me just 2 secs. It's roasting in here. 1 sec. Yeah, sorry about that, lads. You know, when I do that, it means it's getting way too hot in the living room, and I got to turn the heating off. Yeah, there we go. But yeah, how someone like that can get outboxed. But think of it like this, right? The only time I've ever seen Calum Smith actually use his height and reach was against George Groves, right? And it paid off because George Groves doesn't really have an inside game. He doesn't really take it to fighters. He just kind of let Calum Smith get into a boxing match, and that was it. But Calum Smith, oh, that's an idea, actually. Boxing loser stars. I want a Harley Quinn mug. You want a Harley Quinn mug? Well, I don't have a Harley Quinn mug, but I do have, yeah, be a big Bellew. I do have one of them in the house. Maybe get that and pop it onto a mug. Hey, pop that onto a mug, man. If I ever meet him in person, I swear to God, I am going to, I better have my best running shoes on because he is going to be, yeah, he won't like me. Yeah, Smith doesn't use his height at all. No, he doesn't. He doesn't use his height or reach at all. Joe Smith KOs Calum. Oh, yeah. I said Calum was a hype job. I don't know if it was a hype job, but oh yeah, Joe Smith would beat the living crap out of Calum Smith. Oh, he would beat the absolute living crap out of Smith. Visuals, yes, big up. I hope you're having a good evening. If you're working, bro, get you through it. Get you through the next hour. You pick Richards on points too. Totally agree. He's much better than people. I think it's because he has lackluster performances, Craig Richards. He doesn't. Sometimes he does impress, like against Jake Paul, but I had a feeling that was going to happen anyway. But other times he can be a bit lackluster. People are just like, oh, who is this guy? You know, and he's not been promoted the right way. I mean, he was the underdog. Although I think the odds were close when he fought Ball. You could tell Sky were like, oh, we've got this prospect. He's a Team GB and he's fighting Craig Richards, who's just this guy, and Craig Richards starched him. So yeah, it's like that with it's like that. Very interesting to think Smith at 175 against the rest of the British scene. Oh yeah, could you imagine him against you? I don't. I think I don't know who I wouldn't pick him against any of them really. Buatsi, no. Yard, no. So well, Yard maybe, but Johnson. Oh, Johnson would go through him. Well, they're stable mates, so they wouldn't fight. Actually, to be fair, they're both trained by Joey. They wouldn't fight. They wouldn't fight. But Lyndon Arthur's, yeah, big up to Dean every time. You don't want Billy Joe next. You want Billy Joe versus Andre to fight Canelo. In the meantime, should fight a Charlo. But yeah, I can't see them fighting the Charlo, man. I can't see them fighting the Charlo, to be honest with you. Can't see that fight happening. But you never know. Now that he's a free agent, he might. Have you heard what's wrong with Fa? What about Joe P pulling out of the Dylan White rematch? Have they rescheduled that fight again? Have they? Now with Junior Fa, it's not the flu. I know that. It's not the flu. It was something to do with it was something to what was it to do? It was something to do with blood or something like that. So with Junior Fa, it's not good. But have they rescheduled it again? I would, but if they do, I would love to see him fight JP again. I'd love that. I'd really like that fight again. That was a good fight the first time. That was a really good fight the first time. That was a really good fight the first time. Get that done. If I can't see that Povetkin fight happening, lads. Maybe I'm wrong. I can't see it. I see Povetkin retiring. Can't see the Povetkin fight happening at all. Did anyone notice the double Michael Buffer intro? Yeah, I noticed that as well. And they David Diamante. Diamante, do you remember him when he first started out doing announcing? He was dodgy. The amount of howlers he used to make. I'm telling you now, if you go back and look at it, he used to be making howlers while he was announcing them fighters. He's improved a lot. Yo, big up to Johnny every time. Johnny's Fight Palace, Triple G, 3 or nothing. DAZN want it. Canelo, God only knows. I reckon they'll do it. But said big up to Johnny. Johnny was just live there. So big up to Johnny Boy every single time. Big up to him. Shout out to him. If you haven't, go over, subscribe. You just hit 9K. So big up to Johnny Boy every time. I said I'd go in and get that in there. I give Johnny Boy the shout out. Adam Smith, you wronged it. Oh man, Adam Smith, man, he is. Ebony Bridges gave it away, bro. That emoji will tell you everything you need to know. Everything you need to know. Canelo versus Bertabiev. Yeah, like it'll depend on how Bertabiev looks in subsequent fights. If he has a real sticky fight or a real tough fight, they will get Canelo will be like, white to rice in there. He'd be like, haha, I'll have you. I'll have you. What's happening? Big up Tony every single time. Big up to my man Tony every single time. Big up to you, man. Can't see anyone from 160 to 175 beating Canelo. He beats Bivol Beterbiev. Yeah. I think Plant and Billy Joe are the best. Yeah. I don't know about Plant. I think Canelo will get Plant late on. I think Canelo might get Plant late on. But Billy Joe, I don't know. Like Demetrius Andre, for years now, I've had high hopes for Demetrius Andre. I've had such high hopes for him for years now. And I think if he fights a top level opponent, we'll see him come good. I really do. I don't know why. I just have high hopes for him. Ever since I first watched him, I've always felt that there was something there, but he just doesn't fucking fulfill it, which is annoying. It's frustrating when you don't see it. When you can see something, you're like, this guy's talented. He just needs to bloody show it. Joe Smith is the best light heavyweight with no title. 100%. 100% agree. And I'm pretty sure it's confirmed he'll fight for the vacant WBO title in January. I think, Vaslov. Now, he's no slouch, but I'm picking Joe over him. Definitely. I'm picking Joe Smith over him. Definitely. Billy Joe Saunders, Beterbiev had the best chance to beat Canelo. Yeah, Beterbiev probably, but Billy Joe, I don't know. I think stylistically he could be awkward, but I don't know about beating him. Adam banging pots and pans Smith. Yeah, that's actually a good one, actually. Yeah, banging pots and pans Smith. He was commentating on darts today. Imagine that. Imagine Adam Smith. And he's talking about, he's like, is he throwing? It's like, it's flipping darts, lad. Come on. Adam Smith needs to up his pimp game with the ladies. Can you just picture? It's just. Can you get that image in your head of Adam Smith going over and actually chatting to a woman? It'd be like Daniel Dubois chatting. You could just imagine Dubois. Yeah, all right. Yeah, you look pretty. Yeah, I'm boxer. You can picture that's kind of how Daniel Dubois is. I swear to God, that probably would be how Dubois would chat up. But like, you picture Daniel Dubois, like nice guy, good fighter, but you picture him going to a lady, just be like, yeah, all right, I'm boxer. Yeah, right. Well, yeah, I'm your boy G. That's all. That's all I need to say. Calum, Calum Smith needs to watch for. Oh yeah, the Larry Holmes jab. Big up Richard Dwyer. Every time, man. Big up Richard Dwyer. Every single time, man. He is a legend, that lad. I could watch his videos. I just love watching Dwyer. He's a G. He really is. Some of the things he said over the years, I could watch Richard Dwyer all the time, man. He's just so funny. And like I don't know what it is. Like I remember when I think it was Intangible said that he picked Joe Hanks to beat Joe Joyce. I went back and watched it, just like he plays the odds too much, but it's just he's a legend. Yes, hit the like button, smash it if you haven't already. What's Big Dan Twitter? Don't even know if Big Dan's on Twitter. If you are, bro, let him know. But big up to Big Dan every time. Oh, you are on Twitter, obviously, because you replied to Ebony Bridges, but no idea what it is, bro. Canelo is the best Mexican fighter in history. No, but definitely he's building a resume by now. Better resume than Chavez, Marquez, Salvador. Salvador and Sanchez, we don't know, but see, career's cut short as well. He's getting there. He's definitely building up he'll be a Hall of Famer with no question. I'll tell you that, Tony. I mean, there's no doubt. No doubt. Got the book yesterday. Got to start reading it this week. It's a good read. It's a short read. Like you could, if you really wanted to, you could kill that in a week. That book, if you really wanted to. If you really wanted to, you could kill that book off in a week. It's about 160 pages, I think. It's a good read. It's a good read. Smith has great domestic opposition at light heavyweight. Hopefully, Gallagher doesn't hinder his opportunities. They won't fight, I reckon, at domestic level. They'll look probably to get back in at world scene. Bawatsy's methodical. And Bawatsy, I think, could cause him some issues. Seriously. Bawatsy, I think, could cause Yard. I know he looked a bit shaky against Calic, but that good check might be what he needs. I think Bawatsy could cause him a few issues. Yard with the physical strength might cause him some issues. I don't know quite so about Arthur's, because Arthur's is not really I reckon maybe Calum Smith could get a bit. See, Arthur's actually probably would. No, I'd probably take Smith over him, because he doesn't like it when he gets physical. So yeah, they'd be kind of the main ones. Big up to Wesley every time. She didn't respond to me on Twitter. It was on Instagram, but my Twitter is DNews. All right, but she gave it away, bro. She gave it away. Oh yeah, I read that one already. Big up. Oh, detached bicep. That's what I meant to click on. That detached bicep might not be nice. That might not go well. Might not go well. That could be a long-term issue, man. That could be a while he'd be out of the ring for. Could be a while. Detached bicep. Jesus. Callum Johnson hurt Baturbiev. No, he dropped them. He hurt him bad. He froze the minute he dropped them, though. That's one thing. Canelo's trainer in the room before the fight. G-Man. I know Spanish hit his arm all the time. Wow. Really? Jesus. So they obviously must have known something, because he was targeting that arm. The arm injury was no fluke. Go to zone and replay. Canelo in the room 50 minutes before the fight, talking to Reynoso, saying hit the arm. So they obviously knew. They obviously got word that arm was damaged. All right. Well, that's actually, if they knew that arm was damaged, then they went in there with a plan to attack that. That's what fighters do, bro. Was it Gary Locker, or was it some? Remember Lennox Lewis fought? Might have been him or Gary Mason, was it? Or, forget who it was, but remember he had a detached retina or something like that, and Lennox Lewis was like, "I'm focusing on that. I'm going for that." Fighters will do that if they know you've got any weakness or they hear about it. They are focusing on that. I think we should stop with the whole bias Canelo cards now since joining the zone. I said that as well. I actually said that as well in the last stream. Two of the judges had it razor sharp against Jacob. One had a Kovalev up. Yeah, I wasn't 100% sure about that. And one get. I've said that. I said that ever since he's been fighting on the zone, the scorecards have been a lot fairer. A lot fairer. I've said that as well now. Big up to Randy. Randy. Yeah, it is Randy. Yeah, so I read that too quick. Big up to Randy. Are you going to watch Horthoff Bor Johnson versus Eddie Hall fight when it happens? Maybe. It might be fun. I mean, both those guys are going to have no cardio at all. I'm telling you now. How many rounds will that be for? It's in September next year. How many rounds is that? If it's any more, oh man, they are going to have no cardio at all to speak of. It will be. I probably will. It'll be an event. I'll probably watch it, but their cardio is going to be awful. Seriously, their cardio will be awful. You feel legit bad for Smith. He gets barred by the fans. The guy is always fair analysis pundit. He always breaks down the fight fairly, gives credit to fighters, other promoters. No, he's not. He's not my favorite commentator. He can get a bit. It's when he starts shouting, it can be a bit annoying. But you can tell he does like boxing. It is kind of the in thing to take the piss out of Adam Smith. I'll admit that. You can tell he does like boxing. I'll give him that. You can tell he's got a passion there. You hear him when he talks about it. Like when he commentated on Corrales versus Castillo, you could tell like he was passionate about it. So he does have a passion for boxing. I don't know. It's just there is something just about him though. There is like I don't know what it is. There is something off-putting about him though. Canelo does what he wants on Mayweather's level. He gets Freemasons, but God only knows. God only knows what Freemason is looking after him. Might be there's been loads of fighters who are Freemasons. Jack Dempsey was a Freemason. So was Sugar Ray Robinson. I think Jack Dempsey was 33rd rank, which is the highest in Freemason. For those who don't know, just a bit of trivia there. Most guys don't get to that though. Most guys don't even get past the first tier of Freemasonry, which is nothing really. I'm not a Freemason, by the way. I've just always been interested in them. So I research it. You think Canelo beats Beterbiev but lose to Bivol? Yeah, I think Bivol could be a banana skin there. I think the speed might be an issue. The speed might be an issue there for Canelo against Bivol. Don't have a go at me, but I've watched Smith Ryder plenty of times, and I only ever saw in 115, 113 for Smith or for Ryder a draw. I believe the wrong man won, but I wouldn't call it a robbery. I respect that. I do feel it was wider. I think maybe I was just focusing a lot more on what Ryder was doing. That could potentially be what I was thinking about it like that there. But for sure, I felt it was. I had John Ryder well ahead come the end of the fight. But if that's what you said, then that's your opinion. You had Ryder winning. I really couldn't make a case for Smith taking the fight, to be honest with you. But I don't have an issue with those scorecards at all. Yeah. It just kind of depends really what you like. I definitely prefer what Ryder was doing in there. Definitely. Much preferred Ryder. His aggressive, his movement, everything. I preferred it, and I was giving him the rounds based upon that. And the fact that Calum Smith's shots, I remember going over Ryder's head a lot of the time, and I was like, I can't score those shots. Calum's trainer is a bit to blame for not using his height and reach to his advantage. Yeah, that Joe Gallagher, he very seldom gets his fighters to do that, though. I mean, if you look at the way Joe Gallagher's fighters tend to fight, they tend to just kind of come up square up, hands up high, and they kind of just tend to say, look at when Anthony Crowder fought Ishmael Barroso, right? Anthony Crowder's whole game plan was to lose a lot of the rounds, tuck up, let him throw his best shots, and get tired. It's not, I wouldn't recommend that game plan personally. I wouldn't recommend that at all. But if it works, so be it. But eventually it will. There's levels. There's levels to that. That's not going to work against everyone. It was never, ever, 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 ever going to work against Canelo. Never. Big up to AA. Big up to AA Boxing Blunts. I like the entrance and chose the words and choose the words in the video. My dream for the last 10 years has been freedom and be a free man now. Now I am free. Well, we're all free if we want to be. It's a lot of people just want to give it away, unfortunately. Yes, a lot of people do want to do that, unfortunately, in today's society, without going into too much detail. Beterbiev has been active, injury, struggle at the weight. Yeah, he was a a heavyweight in the amateurs, Beterbiev was, so he's not getting any smaller. So we'll be interested to see how he goes. G-Man, what do you think? What makes you think Beterbiev look shaky in his next fight? Could look shaky in his next fight. He looked sharp last time despite his age. No, I'm not saying he will look shaky necessarily. I'm saying that I think if he does, or I think we're due a shaky performance from Beterbiev, given the fact his age, inactivity, injuries. I think that he's grown big. Like he was as I just said, he was a heavyweight in the amateurs. So I'm just looking at all them things, just taking them into consideration. I'm not saying he will look shaky in his next fight. I'm just saying I wouldn't be shocked if he did. Or if he was in a subsequent fight, looked a bit shaky. You know, I'm not saying he necessarily will in his next fight, but I wouldn't be shocked if he did or in subsequent fights. Definitely. Calum Smith does the shallow Chris Algieri defense. Tall guy shouldn't be doing. Yeah, Chris Algieri he's another one like that. Very tall, very rangy, but doesn't use it. Does not use it at all. And that's cost Chris Algieri. Like, look at him. He fought Errol Spence. He stood straight in front of Errol Spence and let Errol Spence tee off at him. Like, what the hell? You got with Estrada. Yeah. I'm going with Estrada on points as well. 100% I'm going with Estrada on points. Mashed up Calum Smith's arm like mash and gravy. Yo, mash and gravy at Christmas is tops, lads. Don't diss the mash and gravy. Harley Quinn insulted Canelo, has to be on the juice by beating Calum Smith. He must be correct, totally unbiased. Yeah, well, that's Harley Quinn in a nutshell. Well, nothing like that surprises me about Harley Quinn. You know, there's always a reason if one of his friends or fighters loses. I done, what video was it? But I've said it before. When Chisora knocked out Takam, he was like, well, no one's ever done that to Takam. I was like, Povetkin done it to him years ago. Of course others have done it. Just because your mate done it doesn't mean it's like, Harley. Now, come on now. Mr. J. Oh, Mr. J. Mr. J. You're so great, Mr. J. Oh, Mr. J. I do the Harley Quinn impressions. If he ever sees me, yo, fuck you, G-Man. Apparently, Eddie is announcing 2 big fights this week or next week. Okay, Christmas week. Christmas come early. Let's see, Ben. Let's see who he's announcing. With us, looks like Beterbiev is a nobody in this comment section. Beterbiev definitely ain't a nobody, but as you say there, he is getting up there in age. That's true. Beterbiev is still a force. 100% he's still a force. I wouldn't be shocked if we get a lackluster performance from Beterbiev and it makes other people say, do you know what? Maybe. Canelo little twig arms. Man, Canelo is he's like a little pit bull. Andrade would get boiled and hurt by Canelo. Yeah, I don't know. I rate Andrade. I really do. I really, truly do. I rate Andrade, but we'll have to wait and see. Billy Joe is food for Canelo. Billy Joe, stylistically, as I said, I think he can cause Canelo a few little issues in there, definitely. But I'd see probably Canelo taking that fight on points, to be honest with you. I'd probably go with it on points, to be honest with you. I would have said stoppage, but maybe. But you see, I'm telling you now, look at that Martin Murray fight. You'll see much slower feet for Billy Joe at 168, much slower. Canelo beats Errol Spence. Errol Spence was there. They were talking about a fight at 160. Oh boy, no. I would heavily favor Canelo to beat Errol Spence at 160. Very, very heavily favor him. I'd very heavily favor him to beat Canelo at beat Errol Spence at 160. But we'll need to see how that plans out. If the money is right, they'd do that fight. If the money was right, they would fill out a stadium for that. If the full capacity was let in, they fill up a stadium for that. Boohoo Andrade is weird. See him eye up Kate Abo. I don't know who that is. Not even normal, like get him off TV and the man locked up. Wasn't he arrested a couple of years ago for having a gun or something like that? Demetrius Andre, I'm still holding out hope for him. I got hope for Demetrius Andre still. No food law in Mexico. The NFL, Pro FIFA all recognized meat and water contamination in Mexico. We'll see. I think was it a football team or something like that? Was it a football team who were like that? Yeah. They were apparently. I think Eric Morales tested positive for the Mexican meat. Malakav is planning to get a fight with Canelo for the belt if he in the next 3 fights after Kovalev. Malakuziev. I knew I was getting it wrong. Malakuziev. I can't wait for him versus Kovalev. Honestly, that is going to be oh man, I'm looking forward to that. I'm staying up for that. It's on the zone. That the zone app, man. That the zone app is value for money. I'm telling you now. Value for money that the zone app is. I like it. I like it a lot. That's 2 back-to-back fights where Smith, when Smith, 2 little middleweights bullied and Smith has 0 distance control. Yeah, his distance control is very, 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 very poor. Devon, it is. I'll get it very poor. Very poor judge of distance. He really, his physical strength, I don't think is quite there. There's a lot of things about Calum Smith that are really, they make you raise an eyebrow. They make you raise an eyebrow. As I said, I think the World Boxing Super Series, I think me as well, I kind of thought maybe I've been discrediting him a bit, but I think that really did maybe gas a few people up, especially considering the fact that Joe Joyce, George Groves was injured. Was clearly injured, or coming off an injury anyway. Errol Spence versus Canelo. No, I got Canelo every day of the week. Canelo every day of the week. Every single day of the week. Oh, Joe, Stunner, I nearly missed your comment. 67 in the chat, lads. If you could, smash the like button on your way in. If you could. You know, not ask for it too much. Just on the way in, if you could, smash the like button. Smash the like button. I'm amazed people are giving Billy Joe a chance against Canelo. He can cause him a few problems early on. That's exactly what I'm thinking. But does anyone really think he can keep Canelo off for 12 rounds? Not me. Nor I. And I think that, like, as I said, I think Billy Joe was slow-footed in this. And, like, he's not slow-footed. But his foot speed at 160 compared to 168 is night and day. Go back and look at him at 160. I look at him against Martin Murray. It was apparent to the eye. You can see it. I was looking at that and I was like, no, those feet are a lot slower. They're a lot slower. Has anyone seen the video of Beterbiev or Benavidez at age 13, 200 pounds? He was born fat. He's food at 160. Yeah, he doesn't live the lifestyle, that lad. He really doesn't. He likes his schnackta. That means snow in Irish, by the way, for anyone who doesn't know what that means. It's one of the only Irish words. I don't speak a word of Irish, but there's very few words in Irish I know, and schnackta's one. It means snow. Benavidez is fighting. I don't care. I made a decision when they announced it, the Ralph fight. He's been such a disappointment. He really has. He's been a disappointment. That lad is just so ill-disciplined. If you could get his discipline under control, he's useful. Mark my words. Now cleans up at 168. I reckon he does, to be honest. I think that's his division now. I think he's comfy in that division. I think he's comfy there. Canelo makes the best in the world look normal. He's improved, man. He's improved. That's a fight that I would give. Could I pick Canelo in that fight? And mark my words, I wouldn't rule it out if Joe Smith picks up a title. Canelo wouldn't need to go looking for him. But Joe Smith can bang, and he's physical. Very, very, very physical. Jesus, he is a physical guy. Will's calling. I'm calling it out of Plant Benavidez, I should say, Billy Joe Saunders. Give Canelo the hardest fights at 160. I agree with you on Plant, but maybe I give Benavidez ahead of Plant. But Plant would give Canelo some bother in there. I agree with you on that. Both Smith and his petters seem to have the negative mindset and dimensions and fight small. Miss the fight. Yeah, I don't understand it either. I've never understood when I see fighters like look at James McDonald. He was 5'10" and he was a bantamweight, and he always fought with his like shoulder square. He would move forward, he'd lean over. I'm like, you're a bantamweight and you're 5'10". What the hell are you doing? You should not. What the hell are you doing? As always, like when I see tall fighters in divisions and they're really tall, it's like they're fighting short. It's like, what the hell are you doing? Big boys boxing, big up every time to you, man. Big up to you every single time. Go over and give Big Boys Boxing channel a shout. Give them a look. It's good stuff over there. EA Fight Night. I don't think the X-ray for Billy Joe was just a matter of which Billy Joe we get on the night. Yeah, he has looked crap at 160 on occasions. Yeah, he has. But I definitely think the extra weight, like, you don't underestimate what the extra weight can do to you, though. Don't underestimate that. Do not underestimate that. Spence is a great fighter, but if he ever gets if he ever tried to go up and fight Canelo, it would be very bad for him. He's not ready. He's not ready. Do you think FA Jagba will beat Tyson? As in Tyson Fury or Mike Tyson? Mike Tyson, yeah, right now. As in Tyson of 52 years old, yeah, of course. I mean, most journeymen would beat Mike Tyson. If you have about Tyson Fury, hell no. Hell no. He ain't beating Tyson Fury. Hell to the no. He needs to improve a lot. There's a lot of improvement needed with that guy. You know, and by his own admission, I'm just going back on the chat. Holy shit, I've missed a lot of chats. Holy shit, where am I? Yeah, here we are. I missed a lot. Apologies, lads, if I'm not getting to some of your comments quicker than I want to. I will get to them. I always do. Why doesn't Hearn push for Bivol Beterbiev fight when Hearn wants nothing to do with Bivol? I think it's just bad. I think it's just poor from Bivol. Like, I think he should really leave Eddie Hearn. He should really leave Eddie Hearn, I think. He should really leave Eddie Hearn. Usyk fought in the world boxing supers. I don't think he did. I'll have to double check that on one with Michael Van Buren, but I'm pretty sure he didn't. I wonder if Andre Ward, not now. No, certainly not now. But I'm sure a couple of years ago, yeah, he would have fought Canelo. I would pick Andre Ward. Andre Ward beats Canelo. Maybe not now, but prime Andre Ward, yeah, he beats Canelo. He beats Canelo. I think it should be Plant next. Hope they fight in February. Plant's fighting Truax next. Man, he's fighting Truax next. It's not great. It is what it is, but what can you do? Ask Calum Smith a question, and 20 minutes later, he might just be halfway there answering it. I'll big up the Joe every single time. Bivol for me is the skill to check Canelo at the door that all night. Yeah. I think Bivol's going to be Bivol will be a job. He'd be a job for Alvarez, definitely. Joe Smith is Joe Smith has improved dramatically. And it shows how good that Bivol is, because Bivol really shut Joe Smith down. He really shut him down in that fight. There's a lot of money on GGG versus Canelo 3, so I think it's going to happen. Yeah, there is. I think a lot of parties want that fight. It is still a big money fight. It is. Richard Dwyer is the man. He is. Richard Dwyer. Hey, it's Dwyer. GamblersAdvisory.com. Remember, the opinion you should follow should be your own. Just consider this a second opinion from a complete stranger online. Big up Richard Dwyer every time. If Smith wins a world title and unifies with Beterbiev, you think we'll get Smith? Yeah, but I don't know. Smith's improved, though. He has improved. Maybe that. He has improved. History has shown that even greats tend to get beaten eventually. Oh, yes, of course they do. And usually when they're not expected, of course. Out there is Antonio Tarver or Frankie Randall to bust Canelo's bubble. I wouldn't pick either of them. Do you remember Antonio Tarver, or not Antonio Tarver? Margarito beat Alvarez's brother. Dwyer is the oracle. Yeah, he is. He's something else. Do you think Daniel Dubois has lost virginity yet? Not in the ring. As I'd have he has the demeanor of someone who has. He's very. Yeah, I don't know about that. That's probably fucked this whole stream of being monetized. But yeah, I don't think he has. Probably, if I had to hazard again, I don't know. It's not something to think about, to be honest with you. But I suspect probably not. He's the demeanor of someone who definitely he wouldn't. As I said, I done an impression. If he was talking to a girl, you get the impression it'd be, "Hey, yeah, I'm Boxer. Yeah, I'm the G. I'm your boy. I'm your boy. I'm your boy. Yeah." As long no gingers though, no redheads or gingers though. None come near you. None come near your boy. Don't come near your boy. AJ the Truth. He may very well be. What's with the title Canelo on the juice? Asking the question because a certain Harley Quinn alluded to it. I think that was what he was alluding to. I've seen a few people ask the question. Seeing a few people ask the question. No, G-Man, the arm wasn't damaged. He hit it to prevent the catch. And right. Well, he did. It was flipping damaged by the end of it because he took some shots to that arm. That arm looked mangled. Gary Mason, yeah. Spar tape on Lewis, sparring partners, because I knew it was. I thought that was him. Was subconsciously. I remember Hatman talking about it. Yeah, that's how I remember it too. Big up the Hatman every time. Man, big up the Hatman every time. If Canelo GG1 was on the zone, I reckon GG would have got the nod. That right there is actually a very, very interesting one. That's because Canelo was the golden boy for HBO. Do you remember that? He was HBO's golden boy. They loved him over there. But with the zone, it seems a lot more, it seems a lot more, straightforward. The John Lennon of boxing would also be acceptable because there are only 2 Beatles members that matter. You're talking about John and Paul. Yeah, George and Ringo don't mean much. And Canelo's the Paul McCartney. Oh, yeah, there. Andy Lee and Andre Ward are the only commentator. I like Andre Ward on commentary, but Andy Lee, there's been moments where Andy Lee has said things or scored fights and I've been like, now. Like Andy Lee was, I think remember when George Cambosso beat Selby? He was like, the scorecard was like, he was giving Selby flipping everything. I was like, what the fuck are you watching? I'm just going to pop this on charge real quick. I was like, what the fuck are you watching? I was like, no. Andy Lee can be a bit all over the shop sometimes with scoring fights. But yeah, he's very good analyst. Like when he's giving his opinion, he's not one to shy away from that. But in terms of commentary, he can be a bit hit and miss sometimes for me. When he's on point, he's on point. But when he's off, he's way off. He's way off. 117, 112 for Ryder. Yeah, I would have had a similar scorecard. Excuse me. He looked a mess after the Ryder fight. Maybe the Ryder fight took something out of him subconsciously. You never know. Maybe it took something out of him subconsciously. I've had the film channels in the background all fight right now. Rocky 4 is on. Might not be better. You get the Rocky movies on. My favorite movies will always be Batman movies, in case you can't tell. I love the Dark Knight trilogy. Best movie I've ever seen. Best boxing movie I've ever seen. Cinderella Man. Watch Cinderella Man. It's a great movie. Russell Crowe. Great movie. Russell Crowe and Renee Zellweger. Great movie. You scored it for Smith, really? Yeah, that's interesting. Would a peak B-Hop or Calzaghe beat Canelo? I suspect, yeah, I reckon they probably would. Whoa. What happened to Beats' channel? Has it been deleted? I hope not. Wait there a sec. I hope not. Boxing Beats and Rhymes. Where's Beats? What the fuck? Well, I'm subscribed to him, but he's not in my sub box. Give me a sec there. Yo. Whoa. Wait there. Yo. Where's Beats gone? That's interesting. Where's Beats' channel gone? I hope nothing's happened to him. I hope nothing's happened to him. We should start a petition to get rid of Harley Quinn. Look, they just shouldn't have him commentating on people he knows. He's too pro the guy he knows. Big up to James. G-Man is not that great. G-Man Andrade is not that great. He struggled with Jack Colquitt. Yeah, I know he did. But that Jack Colquitt fight, you remember? I didn't know he did struggle with him. But do you remember he did not want to fight him in Germany because they were meant to fight in 2016 and he pulled out of that fight and he ended up having to fight him in Germany. I do take that into consideration. But look, I believe there's a good fighter in Andre. I do believe that there's a good fighter in there. I believe that. Have you seen F.A. Jagba fight? Oh, I've seen him. I've seen loads of his fights. He can definitely punch, but he's very crude. He needs a lot of work. By his own admission, he's a few years off world level, but I will watch him with interest. He makes a lot of. He's asking to get countered in there. Sometimes the way he leans in with his chin in the air. He needs to be just. They need to move him slowly. So I say, hit the like button, of course. Hit the like button. Smash it. 55 in the chat. Big up to everyone. Andrade was trying to play down Canelo's resume last night. Never wanted to give him credit. If there's one thing you can't love him or hate him, you can't knock Canelo's resume. It's a very good resume. Love him or hate him, his resume is there for the world to see. Can't stand Carl Froch, but he's a good understander of the distance. Yeah, when Carl Froch wanted to box, he could box quite well. He could. His distance, he could keep the distance when he wanted to. Calum Smith just, Lord have mercy. My man can't keep the distance for anything. Yo, big up Intangible. Big up. I was only talking about you in the chat earlier. Big up to you every time, lads. Intangible. Great chat, great channel. Good for reviews. Go over, give him a look. And big up to my man D Jeff. I hope you're keeping well. I hope you're on the road to recovery. I didn't catch your stream last night. Apologies, mate, but I did leave a like anyway. I left a like on it anyway. And hashtag Gmans rocks. I hope all is good with you, bro. Speak of Mind Sport and Talk. Give him a look. Give him a like. Great channel. Does the commentary on a lot of fights. Good commentator. Big up every single time, man. A lot of time for D. I hope you're on the road to recovery. I hope you're feeling better. I hope you all good. I'm missing so many chats. Would you like to see McGregor versus... No. 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 What happened to Beats' channel? I don't know. I was looking at it there and I noticed that myself. I hope nothing's happened. Hope he's all good. Chain with ice. Salute. Big up. Margarito also stopped Sergio Martinez. A lot of people don't know that. He stopped him very early, I think. Early in his career. Canelo's 60-1. 60-1, I think. Ward would never get to 60. No, man, Canelo is like, yeah, I think he's 54 or something like that, and 1 with 2 draws. Yeah, man, Canelo is, man, big up to Let's Go Champ. Even the G man, hashtag G. Oh, you're missing the S, bro. That's not good. Missing the S in the G mans. You're missing the S. You don't want that. You don't want that. I think Beterbiev could give Canelo problems. Yeah, I think he could as well. He wouldn't be backed up against the ropes like Smith. No, shame he lost the belts. Canelo, no reason to face him now either. No, he doesn't. He doesn't have a reason. He's no belt. There's nothing really there. There's nothing really at stake for him to fight him, to be honest with you. It is what that is. Yeah, 54 fights Canelo's had. Canelo's had 54 fights. Canelo has had 54 fights. And anytime, bro. Anytime. Anytime. Big up to D. Do I really think Ambrosio beat Selby? Yeah, no, I do. It was close. It was close. It was definitely a close fight. But Andy Lee, because I watched that. That was on the Usyk Chisora card. I obviously streamed that. I wasn't paying for that. I was not paying for that. And then I watched the DAZN commentary, and Andy Lee, he was ignoring all the good Cambrasso was doing and was just going 100% full steam on Selby. They said, but I was like, the hell, man. I mean, what fight were you watching? And when they announced the scorecards, he was like, oh, I thought that was a robbery. I was like, no, it wasn't. The right guy won. You watched The Dark Knight before your stream came on. I watched Batman Begins yesterday. I got the trilogy on Ultra High D. Have you ever watched it before? So if you haven't watched it before, my least favorite is The Dark Knight Rises. It's still a great movie, but I don't like it. I like it. It's a great movie, but I'm not keen on The Dark Knight Rises. It's not. It's a bit long. It's a bit long. It's a bit kind of meh. It's a bit dreary, but it is still a good. And I love. It's a good movie, but it's my least favorite out of the 3. Dark Knight's the best. Batman Begins close second. Easily a close second. Love Batman Begins. Batman Begins is a great movie. That's a good question. Do the Irish root for Canelo? Not really. Not really. Most people over here wouldn't really know who he is. Seriously. Like, boxing in Ireland, right, is like not really. It's shit. Really. Most people don't watch it. There's not many fans of it. They'd watch the big hardcore, like they watch AJ and stuff. I'm sure if you asked your average Irish guy to name 5 boxers, Conor McGregor, Tyson Fury, of course, obviously Anthony Joshua, obviously, Floyd Mayweather, he still fights, and just one, Eddie Alvarez. If you asked your average Irish lad, you'd probably get it in that order. And if they were from the west coast of the country, you'd need subtitles because you wouldn't understand the fucking thing they're saying. Like, they are proper hillbillies over there. Fuck me. You ever hear like people from the West that are like, oh yeah, fucking great thing. All right, yeah, Grant, come on, sound for that. Thanks for that. Thanks for that. Yeah, thanks for that. That's the joy with the West Coast bars. Like you come over there, and you'd be like, oh yeah, it was fucking great. Yeah. And they talk real quick as well. It's like, yeah, come on, nice to know, good to know. Good to know. Yeah, of course, I watched it before I got it and ultra it. Yeah, no. I think The Dark Knight Rises is my least favorite. Still a great movie. G man, I don't know how old you are. 27, bro. 27. How old you are? But I had the pleasure of watching The Dark Knight. I never watched it in theaters. I only watched it at home. But Dark Knight Rises or The Dark Knight is my favorite. It's my favorite out of the three. I love them. I love all three of them. They're all great movies. I just wish if Heath Ledger had lived and he would have been in The Dark Knight Rises, that would have just holy shit, that would have just been amazing. Imagine Heath Ledger lived and played the Joker again. What happened to Michael Caine? Yeah, he meant to come back a few years ago, but he gave up on that, and I think he's just enjoying retirement now, man. I think he's just enjoying retirement. Dark Knight Rises is my yeah, Johnny. It's my least favorite. It's still good. I rate Batman. No. I like it. It's all right, but nah. Jack Nicholson was good as the Joker in that. Yeah. Did I say? Of course I did. I'm looking forward to that, man. I think that's going to be a good movie. You got, but it's not out until 2022 now. Robert Pattinson is going to be. I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued. I didn't really like Ben Affleck as Batman. It was all right. Batman, Superman were okay. But definitely, I'm looking forward to the new movie. We got the Riddler as the main villain, so he should be good. They have him down as kind of like a Zodiac serial killer because he's not like the goofy Riddler. Like Jim Carrey's Riddler was just full of shit. They made him real stupid. So hopefully we'll get a good one in this movie. But yeah, no, it's March 2022. I think is the release date. Heath Ledger's portrayal as the Joker was copied. It was just a copy of Brendan Lee's Crow. He took inspiration from The Killing Joke as well. If you ever see that movie, actually, The Killing Joke is a good movie, and it's a good book actually as well. Good read of that. He took inspiration from The Killing Joke as well. Yeah, no. Bale is my favorite Batman too. 100%, Johnny. Bale is my favorite Batman as well. Keaton is good. Superman, yeah, I didn't like it. I liked Man of Steel is underrated. People hate on that movie. I actually thought Man of Steel was a good movie, to be honest with you. The Dark Knight Rises is garbage, in my opinion. One of the most boring, pretentious movies. It definitely is a slow burner, Nordic. It's a slow burner to watch. I mean, it starts out okay. Then obviously if you've never watched it, I'm just going to spoil it here. Then obviously Bruce Wayne gets his back broken, and then it's kind of just it's like 2020. The whole of Gotham is locked down. I just yeah, you're right. It is a slow burner. Batman Begins is good, very good movie. I love Batman Begins. Ra's al Ghul, Liam Neeson with his Ra's al Ghul Immortal, or his efforts supernatural. Yeah, Cinderella Man is an excellent movie. Excellent movie. Cinderella Man is an excellent movie. DC every day of the week and twice on a Sunday. We'll leave it there. I didn't like the Joker. I didn't like it. I didn't like it myself personally. Joaquin Phoenix, nothing against them. Didn't particularly like it. Didn't do much for me. Joaquin Phoenix, nothing against them. But not really for me. Not really for me. You were born in the dark. I was born in the dark. I was molded by it. I didn't see the light until I was already a man, and by then it was nothing to me. Ah, yes, I was wondering what would break first, your spirit or your body. Yeah, big up to, who was it who played Bane? What's the guy's name? Tom Hardy. To be fair, no, I think it's not fair to put Beterbiev in the conversation for Canelo. Canelo has the dimensions of a welterweight, and people are clamoring on Beterbiev for nobody because nobody at 160 ain't good enough. Beterbiev, we need to see how he looks. That's the one thing about Beterbiev. I don't know why. I just think that Beterbiev, because the fact he's getting up there in age, because of the injuries, because of the inactivity, we might see him regress a bit, and he might have I'm not saying he's going to lose, but he might have a shaky performance in a fight or two, and then all of a sudden, people will be just jumping on the gun and be like, "Oh, Canelo will take him." I think we'll see a shaky performance out of him. Now. If he's all guns blazing, I'd pick probably Beterbiev to beat Canelo. Seriously. I would. You think Cesar Ramos was the best Joker in Batman? Nah, nothing tops Heath Ledger, man. No one gonna top Heath Ledger, man. Or no one's gonna top Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill's Joker is I love the way he does the voice. Yes, can it be evening bats? You ever play the games where he's like, "There's a teeny little bit of me and you too, bats." Mark Hamill is a G of a Joker. Yeah, Liam Neeson trained Obi-Wan and Batman. Yeah, he's the true G. But he betrayed one. See, he didn't betray Obi-Wan. Garcia or Campbell? Garcia by stoppage. I'm telling you now, Garcia by late stoppage. I'm telling you all now, Garcia by late stoppage. I don't care what you say. Garcia by late stoppage. I think he's gonna do it. I see something in that kid. There's something in him. Garcia by late stoppage. Garcia by late stoppage. Yeah. Arkham Knight is my favorite. I love Arkham Knight. That's my favorite. And the Arkham games are legendary. Yeah. Arkham City is good, but Arkham Knight is my favorite. I love Arkham Knight. Man, we are talking about, we went from boxing to Batman. I'm happy to talk about Batman. Like, I will show you my bedroom, my little collection, and I made sure to get right. I made sure I don't give a shit, right? That one's from that's Heath Ledger's Joker. The Batman is from Arkham Knight. I got Harley from the animated series, and I got Catwoman from Batman Returns. I think I'm going to keep it at that. I'm not going to get any more. I think I'm happy with them. Maybe I'll get a Poison Ivy or someone like that, but I'm keeping it at that. But yeah, you got Garcia. You go with Campbell on points. I see a lot of people are contrasting about it. I don't know why, but I think that I don't know. I genuinely think there's something there with Garcia. You put a friendly fight bet on that Campbell Garcia, which you got Luke all day. I see a lot of people saying Luke on points. I mean, the general consensus when this was announced was that Luke Campbell was going to win on points. I still, hand on my heart, think that there's something. Garcia makes mistakes, yes, he makes mistakes, but I think it's going to align. I think it's going to align for him in there. I think Luke Campbell, and I'm thinking Luke Campbell. People were saying he was getting big for the weight a couple of years ago, so I wonder how much longer he has at that weight. Scarecrow was the best character, sends you mental in that game, right? Yeah, his voice is annoying in that game, all right, but yeah, he's the main bad guy. But I love having the Joker with you in Arkham Knight because it's funny. He just throws them little, because he's dead in that game, but you're seeing him as a visionary. He's just throwing them games, and he's like, "Oh, you can't save Barbara. I killed half of her already." I was like, "You can't save all of Barbara. I killed half of her already, bats." Yeah, I love that. That's just, yeah. What can you do? Campbell doesn't get stopped though. He doesn't get stopped. I think he will. I don't know why. I think Garcia has. There's something there with Garcia, man. There's something there with Garcia. I think. Yeah, big up to AAA every time. If Reynoso says Garcia is ready for Luke, I'll go with that. Reynoso is, as a trainer, man, he is good. Man, I rate Eddie Reynoso very highly as a trainer. Lads, I'm going to call it here for the evening, right? I'm calling it here for the evening. Appreciate all of you who locked in, man. We had fun this evening. I'm calling it here. Lads, I don't know if I will get another stream out before Christmas. I may try and do one on Tuesday or Wednesday. Tuesday, probably. Do one last kind of live stream just before Christmas to kill it off. And then we'll get back at it. Pretty much we'll get back at it for Ioka versus Tanaka. But for now, lads, I'm going to call it quits here. Bruce Lee only locked in. Hashtag G-Man's Rocks. You got to big up to Devon every single time. Big up to Boxing Loans, Loser Star. Big up Bye. Man, big up to D. Big up Buzzy. Big up every time. But man, big up to Johnny. We had Johnny in here, and I want to big up D as well, wherever D is. In the chat, I'll find one of his, and obviously big up to Joe every time. I got to big all these guys. Big up to Joe. Big up to D. D, I hope you're all well. I hope you're getting a good recovery. And I hope you have a good Christmas with your fam, bro. Stay safe, everyone. Yeah, big up. Bye, G-Man. Yeah, big up. Now, we get one more stream in before Christmas, definitely. But big up to all the lads. Big up to everyone in the chat, lads. Gotta call it here. Hope y'all have a good Christmas. We get one more in, Nordic, before Christmas. We'll get one more in before Christmas, so we can all say our piece with that. But big up, great stream. Hashtag G-Mans rocks every time. D, I will send you one of them mugs for Christmas if you want the G-Mans rocks mug. I will send you one. You can drink your tea or coffee in bed. I'll send it out to, is it Cincinnati or Cleveland? It's in Ohio. It's in Cleveland. I can't remember where you're from, man. You told me once. Was it like Cincinnati, Columbus, or I always flip and forget because I always I just think of Cleveland for some reason. But big up to all the lads anyway in the chat. Big up to everyone. Hope y'all good, lads. We calling it here. I'll talk to you. Well, oh, by the way, I want to actually, before I go, you getting the video tomorrow. You're getting a WTF video tomorrow. By the way, I just finished editing there tonight before I came on. So WTF happened to a fighter. I'll leave it with you to figure out who that is. But peace. Big up to all the lads. I'll talk to you. You'll see me all tomorrow. Big up.